Good news, Panther Nation. It's your boy, Myron McRae, a.k.a. Tornado McRae, across the skies of the internet, here with another episode of Panther Pride TV, your one-stop shop for all your Panther notifications and your Panther obligations. And happy Monday to all y'all. Before we get into this video, please want to give a huge shout-out and thank you to Underdog Fantasy for being the sponsors of this video. And please, guys, if you can, go ahead and click this little QR code and go ahead and play Underdog Fantasy, man. I've been having a lot of fun. It's been doing me a lot of service. This weekend actually did me pretty well with the NFC title game and whatnot. So, hey, go ahead, click the QR code, play Underdog Fantasy, and let's get into it. But speaking of this weekend, the first thing on the docket, we have our Super Bowl. And it is the New England Patriots versus the Seattle Seahawks. Nani? Now, I'll be the first to tell you, I'll be the first to put it on my horn. I did not think the Patriots were making the Super Bowl this year. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. I did not think the Patriots were going to make the Super Bowl, so I'm a little sick about that. But, hey, it is what it is. When you play a backup quarterback like Jarrett Stidham, who I honestly thought could get the Broncos enough to get over the hump, because I felt the Broncos defense was going to show up and do their thing. They just didn't. It is what it is. Shout out to Sam Darnold, though, another former Carolina Panther, going to the Super Bowl. Because, Christian McCaffrey went to the Super Bowl with the 49ers the year after he left us. Sam Darnold, a few years after us. Crazy enough, Sam Darnold is the first guy from the 2018 NFL draft, the first quarterback from the 2018 NFL draft to make the Super Bowl. Nani? And, y'all, that is a list of names because, like, when I looked at it, and I thought this was kind of crazy. The 2018 NFL draft quarterback-wise consists of Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Josh Rosen, Lamar Jackson, Mason Rudolph. Who else? Yeah, those are the notable names out of here. Those are the notable names. So the fact that out of Baker, Sam, Josh, Lamar, and Sam Darnold's the first one to get to a Super Bowl. Shout out to Sam Darnold, man. I never felt Sam Darnold was a bad pick. I just felt like him going to the Jets, his career wasn't going to flourish. But he's bounced around. He's done his thing. And we can't say it's a fluke because he took the Vikings to a 13-win season last year, and they just faltered in the playoffs. And I said playoff Darnold was a thing because to me he seemed like he was good in the regular season, but he was not great in the postseason. And just yesterday, he had a career high in terms of passing yards, I think 345, 23 for 345, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check just to make sure. He had 346, 25 for 36, 3 touchdowns, 346. And he went toe-to-toe with Matthew Stafford. Because Stafford went 374, 22, 35 for 3 TDs. So, can't say nothing. Can't say, like, Darnold was carried. You cannot. So, shout out to Sam Darnold. Shout out to the Seattle Seahawks. We gave them a hell of a game when we played them. So, honestly, I think we could have probably gone toe-to-toe with them. I don't know if we would have kept it as close. But then again, I believe in my Panthers any day of the week. It just would have been on Canales and Bryce Young that day in terms of scoring offense. But, yeah, shout out to them. I'm going to be rooting for the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. I don't think that needs to be said. I hate the Patriots, so I'll be cheering for the Seahawks, man. But now we're moving back to Carolina news, and, man, we're going to take a look at the potential number 19 pick. So what I'm going to do going forward is a lot of guys that we're going to be looking at who could be taken at number 19, I'm going to be bringing up their stats. Their stats from this past season, as well as the stats they put over their collegiate career. So this way we get a good gist over who's who and what's going on in the NFL and what's going on in college, who Carolina is looking at. And I'll do it as well for when we get closer and we're probably through our first round picks and potentials. I'll do it for the second round guys. And we'll look at guys who we're looking at for the second round, see what they got going on, so on and so forth. So, first one up has got to be the guy that Mel Kiper said Carolina will take, and that is one C.J. Allen. And we're going to look at C.J. Allen's numbers. And in 2025 alone, C.J. Allen had 88 total tackles, 47 solo tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. And over the course of his 3-year career at Georgia, this is what C.J. Allen was able to put up as well. Put up 205 career tackles, like total tackles, 117 solo tackles, 13.5 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. So he wasn't forcing fumbles until his final year. Now, C.J. Allen, say what you want, the man is a great pick. He'd be a great selection, but I do know a lot of people are like, hey, let's go Sonny Styles, let's go Anthony Hill Jr., let's go a lot of different ways. And we're going to look at those numbers too. Because, truth be told, this linebacker class is deep. And Carolina, I feel, can't miss. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think they can really miss if they go linebacker first round. Or if they, like, I've said before, the positions that need to be addressed. Linebacker, interior O-line, it's like linebacker, O-line, interior D-line, as well as safety. I think those are the first 4 positions that need to be addressed. And in terms of the linebacker core, I don't think you miss here. I don't think this class is a miss in any regard. And C.J. Allen, he would be a good fit. Sonny Styles, he would be a good fit. And he would be a good fit. And we're going to see that over the course of the next few weeks, over the course of the upcoming months. We're going to see it on their pro days, on so on and so forth. And it's just going to be real beautiful to watch. But another thing that we also got to take into account, and I just, hold on, let me look at this again. That's, like, when I look at this number, that's really crazy, man. Again, 205 total tackles, 117 solo tackles. Bro, like, over the course of 3 years, there's almost 70 tackles a season. Because if he gets to 210, that's 70 tackles a season just total by himself. So the man can definitely wrap up. So, like I said, I don't think you can miss here. And another place that, honestly, I don't think anybody can miss is on Underdog Fantasy, man. So as I was saying, we have our Super Bowl matchup, and we're in the home stretch of the playoffs. But, bro, Underdog Fantasy is still the best place to get all your gridiron action, and playing Underdog is easy. All you have to do is pick your favorite players, higher or lower on stats, and, something like touchdowns, rushing yards, receptions, receiving yards, so on and so forth, and you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. And so this past week, I had went with the higher for Matthew Stafford in terms of passing yards, as well as Drake May. Did I go Drake May? No, it was Sam Darnold. I went Sam Darnold. I went higher on both of those. And it turned out, on passing yards for both of those, and it turned out really, really well for myself. So with that being said, y'all, what are you waiting for? Download the Underdog Fantasy app. You can either type it in, or you can go get this little QR code. I'm telling you, take your phone out. Yes, take this. The thing you have in your hand, whether it's an iPhone, Samsung, whatever you got, take it out, QR code, scan it, play it. Download the Underdog Football Fantasy app, and then use the promo code FOOTBALLFAN to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code FOOTBALLFAN. Score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5, man. Underdog. Make picks, win money. It's just that simple.
Must be 18 plus. 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska. 19 plus in Colorado for some games. 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia. And present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/play and get terms DFSTML for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 helpline at 1-877-8 or text from I 467-369.
All right, and with that being said, another place that we can't miss, apparently, according to the rumor, and I've seen some of you say this in the comment section too, some are suggesting that tight end is the way for us to go with that number 19 pick.
NANI?
Yeah, A lot of people are saying that Carolina should go with a tight end with the number 19 pick, including another clip from Anthony Rizzetti from the Panthers Wire. So, Anthony says, and he got this from Matthew Freeman, who apparently is on Fantasy Life, like the website Fantasy Life. So that's where this is coming from. Says Fantasy Life's Matthew Friedman has been the world's most accurate mock drafter since 2020. Don't know how true that is, so please don't take that from me for a grain of salt. And through his first two projections of the 2026 draft, he's doubled down with one particular prospect for the Carolina Panthers. Friedman released in his second one-round mock nearly a week ago following Indiana's winning the national title over Miami, as he did in his initial offering. He links the Panthers in the 19th overall pick to Oregon tight end Kenyon Sadiq. While Carolina may be inclined to lead towards defense, with clearing needs at inside and outside linebacker, the offense is still lacking some firepower. This unit hasn't been getting much production from their tight ends, as they haven't had a single player from that position amass at least 400 receiving yards since 2019. The last tight end to hit that mark in Carolina was Greg Olsen over that 6-year span. Olsen has played for another team, retired, and become a multi-time Emmy Award-winning broadcaster. So, how do I feel about Kenyon Sadiq? Kenyon Sadiq is a phenomenal prospect. Kenyon Sadiq is a great player. Kenyon Sadiq is a hell of a tight end. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Do I necessarily think we need to go tight end in the first round? No. NANI? And it's not to say if we went tight end first round. You know what? Actually, I take that back. If we go tight end, it has to be Kenyon Sadiq. If we're going offense, if you're really doubling down on that, Carolina, the same thing I said for Teteroa McMillan last year. If you're going offense, it has to be that guy. Sadiq has to be available. That is the only offensive pick that will make sense to me for the first round. The only one. Not, like, I just, no. There's just no way. With this linebacker class, and I think it's going, a lot of the higher end prospects may be taken in that first round before we get our second round pick, and the glaring needs we have at linebacker, I think you have to go linebacker first. But if Carolina decides to go offense, this man better be available. This is the only pick I'll step off to the side and be like, all right, cool. I ain't going to be against that. And the reason being is because, yeah, our tight end room hasn't amassed a lot. I felt like we did tight end by committee this year between Evans, Sanders, and Trimble, and it worked. I thought it worked really well. I think Mitchell Evans is going to be a great tight end, truth be told. We get him more in reps and things of that nature. I like Mitchell Evans. I know Jatavian Sanders, his ankle got broken, but I feel he'll be back. And Tommy Trimble, even with the back surgery, looked like he was doing pretty well. But again, I see the athleticism in Sadiq. I see the love for Sadiq, and I understand why. So if you're going to do it, he is the only exception. Especially skill position on offense, I don't think you go anywhere else. You can't go receiver. I'm not even saying you can't. It doesn't make sense to go receiver to me. It doesn't make sense to go receiver, and it doesn't make sense to go running back. It doesn't make sense. It definitely doesn't make sense to go quarterback. So skill position-wise, tight end on offense is the only way you can go. In my heart of hearts, I think when you have to go linebacker there, it's not that I'm against Kenyon Sadiq in any way. I just think linebacker is a more glaring need than tight end. I simply think that. I think linebacker is a more glaring need than tight end. Now, I will say this. Carolina could go out in free agency and pick up a linebacker that fulfills that need. However, the benefit of the draft is you can get a great 5-star talent for the low price than you can during free agency, a.k.a. like a Tedero McMillan. We got a top 10 receiver, top 10 league receiver right now, according to like just regular statistics and whatnot, on a rookie contract. So if you can go get a linebacker of that same caliber on a rookie contract, you're good for the next 4 years, 5 years. You're not hurting in the cap, in the salary cap. You see what I'm saying? So it's not that I'm against Kenyon Sadiq in any way, shape, or form. If Carolina goes offense, skill position, it has to be Kenyon Sadiq. I'm not going to be comfortable or accepting or as thrilled with any other selection. It's either Sadiq or an O-lineman. And truth be told, I think you probably get a good O-lineman in the second round too. That's just me. Linebacker is the need. Linebacker is where we got to go in my mind. So Sadiq or nothing, Carolina. I'll say that. I'll concede. I'll concede, Panther Nation, for those who want Kenyon Sadiq. It is him or nothing in that first round. Can we agree on that? Y'all let me know. Is that a fair agreement? Let me know in the comment section below if I'm being fair there. But we're going to move on, and we're going to go to our Panther freeze frame of the day. And it's this photo of Bryce pregame versus the Saints, and I figured it out. For Panther freeze frame, what I'm going to do going forward for the offseason, I'm going to find a lot of like pregame photos and even some like postgame photos, for example, like after the win versus Green Bay and stuff like that. So I'm going to find a lot of pregame photos of a lot of different players, kind of some cool photos, maybe some outfit photos like arrivals and things of that nature when they went on road trips, so on and so forth. That way we have a lot more photos to go through for Panther freeze frame of the day. And even when they have certain events with the Panthers, Bank of America, so on and so forth, I think that'll be really cool. And I think it's just a good way to get us through these months. But now, it is time for y'all favorite segment, time for Panther Nation to speak your truth. And that's why I read y'all comments and see what y'all got to say. And the first comment comes from the homie Aim Small Frag High. Says, I think the reason no teams are looking at Sean is due to the playoff record 8-8. These teams that are left want a coach that can not only get them to the playoffs, but win. Having Sean come back to our defense with the young talent that we have, and we just made the playoffs for the first time in a while. So a lot of people are looking for us to not only make the playoffs, but win a game. Due to this, everyone gets a win. We get a great DC. He shows that he can win playoff games, and we get a playoff win. That is if everything plays out the way we want. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that if teams want somebody who's proven to win. But also when I look at, for example, the Steelers hiring Mike McCarthy, Mike McCarthy hasn't won really anything since 2010. Like, that was when his Super Bowl was, 2010. Mike McCarthy won 2 playoff games in like the last 8 years or so. And he was even out of the league for 2025. Like, he wasn't even coaching for 2025. So I don't necessarily understand it. But if it means Sean McDermott comes back and coaches for us, I'm not going to argue it. That's just me. Next comes from Darnell Brooks, 6655. Says, give me Christian, because I honestly feel like Brooks is going to be our back of the future, especially if that knee is good to go. Good luck, Rico. Yeah, I can agree with that. And especially if, like you said, if Jonathan Brooks' knee is good to go and him and Chuba really become that 1-2 punch that we want, hey, then you got in ETN too, because the simple fact of the matter, if ETN really develops as a running back, Brooks at ETN could be the future 1-2 punch that we have, and Chuba may be out the door. I don't know. So it could be crazy. But, hey, you never know. And then lastly comes from Rebel X 2695, says, I'm about to watch this. The moment I saw McDermott's release from the Bills, my first thought was, could he come back to the Panthers as any part of our staff? My second thought was, would he be willing? Let's face it, There's no way. The money he's about to make will squash all that. Panthers fans would absolutely love it. Panthers fans would absolutely love it. Unless somebody snatches our current DC, who has proven he deserves consideration. Could the Panthers have a real chance at McDermott? Would he want to be a defensive coordinator for us? He has memories, knows the state, the people, the fans. If not for his success here, he does not go to the Bills when he did. What a story it would make if McDermott came back to fill the gap and be the one to take the Panthers to the Super Bowl. It would. It would be a tremendous story. He comes back, is our defensive coordinator. Canales opens up the playbook. Our team clicks on all cylinders. We go to Super Bowl 61, win a championship. That'd be a beautiful story. But it's going to be interesting. My heart of hearts, I would love for McDermott to come back like the rest of y'all. But it's weird. Each day it seems like it's more and more likely. But it's also weird right now because I'm wondering how many teams are waiting for the Super Bowl to be done and then hire teams from like the Super Bowl winning teams or the Super Bowl contending teams, so on and so forth, blase, 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 blase. So it's going to be an interesting offseason. But if McDermott comes back, Sean, you're welcome back with open arms. I'll let you know that now. But guys, that's all I have for today's video. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can always be notified of when these videos are dropping. Next, comment below and let me know. 1, who y'all picking for Super Bowl 60? 2, what are your thoughts about C.J. Allen and looking at his numbers and things of that nature? And drop names. Also, drop names of other linebackers and potential first-round picks y'all want me to pull up the stats for so we can kind of just look at it and get a gauge on them. I'm gonna be looking up more names, but also I want y'all to throw in the names too of who y'all are feeling is worthy of that number 19 pick. And 3, how do you feel about Kenyon Sadiq going at 19? Do you think I'm fair in my assessment of, hey, if we go offense 19, it has to be Kenyon Sadiq or it's nobody? Like, is that a fair assessment? Would y'all even want Kenyon Sadiq with the number 19 pick over going to get a linebacker? Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know that and everything in the comment section below, y'all. And also, everybody, if you're going through the winter storm right now, please be safe on the roads. Please be careful. I hope everybody's got everything that you need. Hope you still have power. Hope you still have electricity, so on and so forth. And just take care of yourselves, man. Take care of yourselves. Check on your family, your friends, your loved ones. I checked on my mom and my little sister yesterday. They are doing fine. They're doing good. I know it's hitting hard, especially in the South. Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, up to Virginia, West Virginia, so on and so forth, through Pennsylvania, Ohio, every kind of that mid and into the South. Texas even getting hit, and a lot of people's like ice storms and stuff like that. So please be safe, especially in the Carolinas. I love y'all. Hope y'all take care. But with all that being said, y'all, at the end of the day, y'all know the deal. What do I know? I'm just a skinny brother with 2 tats. Peace. Much love, all you Panther Nation. Take care. Later days. And as always, keep pounding. I'll see y'all next time.